The Western Australian government is offering a $10,000 subsidy program. This is to help construction companies pay for visa fees, visa application costs, as well as lawyer fees. So if you work for a construction company in WA, your employer could potentially access this program. If eligible, they'll receive up to $10,000 to support skilled migration pathways. Random facts about Australian immigration that you didn't know, part 1. If you've been pardoned in your home country for a conviction, it can't be used against you for purposes of the character test in Australia. Let me explain. So we had a client who lodged a partner visa here in Australia. He provided his police checks and he had a couple of convictions on there for domestic violence crimes in his home country. He was actually imprisoned for 5 years. And as you guys know, in Australia, your visa can be cancelled if you have a substantial criminal record. These convictions were listed on his police check. The client received a Section 501 intention to cancel his visa once he submitted those police checks. In the policy of Section 501, it clearly states that if you are pardoned of that conviction, it's taken to have never happened in the first place. So we provided submissions for our client citing this policy, and the good news is that he received his visa grant. Follow for part 2. Here's what you need to know about the family-sponsored skilled visas. First of all, there is only a 491 visa, which is family-sponsored. There's no 189 or 190. To be eligible for this, you must have a family member who lives in a regional postcode in Australia. You will need to have a valid skills assessment in an eligible occupation, and only occupations on the medium-term occupation list are eligible for this visa stream. It's not like the states that will invite you, like New South Wales or South Australia. You will be invited by the Department of Immigration when they have an invitation round like the 189 visa. Once the visa is granted, you will need to move to an eligible postcode in Australia. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. I had a client who said she went to 7 or 8 agents or lawyers before she came to us. She did a Masters of Commerce in Sydney University and she was told that there would be no pathway for permanent residency to her, and she was advised to study nursing or social work. Probably sounds a little bit familiar to all of you. She came to me and she said she really didn't want to study, so I had a look at her resume. She had done a Bachelor of Business Administration and a Masters of Commerce, and yes, it is very difficult to get permanent residency. When I looked at her resume, I saw that she had a couple of years work experience as an analyst. Now, not your ICT business analysts. She was an analyst in a company responsible for the internal systems, processes, and checks. I looked at it and I said, look, I think we can apply for a skills assessment as an information and organizational professional. As long as you can score at least superior English, we can try for the 190 in New South Wales. But also what was amazing about her is she trusted us and she trusted the process. She said, let's do it. We lodged all the documentation and submitted her application for a skills assessment, and it came back as positive. She held up her end of the bargain and got superior English, and we lodged an expression of interest to be invited for the 190 visa in New South Wales. And yes, there is a happy ending to all of this. So she was invited for the 190 visa on Thursday. Information and organizational professional, 85 points. I'm sure if she's watching this video right now, she would comment and corroborate the story.